I bet with Interbet only. They're a fantastic site. I've never had any issues with them. They are very professional. There's never a problem. You deposit money, 2 seconds later it's in your account. You withdraw, which I do very occasionally, and I believe it's also 2 seconds it's in your account.
We're on to race number 7, which is no doubt the headliner on the day. The World Sports Betting 1900, a grade 2 over 1900 meters. 14:34 is the off time. We've got a rerun for you and then a couple of interviews lined up.
Find the pack in towards the outside. We find a staying on double superlative past the 200. Rascallion in front. Double superlative is on the chase without question. See it again, got some work to do. Rascallion, here comes double superlative, finishing strongly. Double superlative makes a statement. Double superlative has won the World Sports Betting Cape Town Met. Rascallion bold in defeat in second.
Which I was expecting a very good run from him, but I think we're going to put a line through that. And they jumped out, they went extremely slow in that race, and he wouldn't settle, and then going around the turn, his saddle was going to start to slip over his wither, so it didn't work out. I think the public is going to ask a question why it's not a stable jockey, Craig Zaki, riding him, and there's a reason for that, is that Craig discussed it with me and with some of the owners and said, I don't seem to be gelling with this horse, and he was very open about it and said, I think it would be a good idea just to try someone else on him. So it was a good call from Craig. I almost said to him, well, you better start a gel with him, but nevertheless, I discussed it with the owners, and Serena, who's riding on top of his game, will be riding him. So that's just to give you some clarity what's happening there. But he's a horse that Serena rode this morning, very happy with the way he worked, and he's got a bit of a tricky mouth, but he handled him fine. He's actually back home, but he's quite tricky in a race. But ignore his last run. You've seen some of his performances before last season. Even his last start, I think, at Kenilworth, when he ran behind Royal Aussie, was a very, very good run. He got into a lot of trouble going around the turn. So I wouldn't exclude him.
Master Redoute, he's had a very successful Cape season. He's pretty versatile over the distances. So this is him trying this against this opposition in a tough competitive race. Obviously horses are using it for their July preps and that, and we just want to see where we stand with him going into those sort of bigger races, and he's been doing well. Also Cornet was up here the other day and he worked him. He was very pleased with his gallop, so we think he's probably one of our better runners on the day.
Those are the comments from Dean Caname and Byron Foster regarding their respective runners in race number 7, which is the World Sports Betting 1900. Now, I thought that this race is very tough, very, very tough. Not like last year where you had a couple of horses that possibly stood out. Obviously, Pakaya won the World Sports Betting 1900 last year, beaten behind. He in fact beat Winchester Mansion, who we know went on to win the Hollywoodbets Durbanville July. But this year's renewal of this race, I think it's tough. I think there's many horses in with winning chances here. They're betting 33-10 the field. It's Future Swing at the top of betting boards at 33-10, 5-1 Atticus Finch, 5-1 without question, 11-2 Mucho De Niro, and then you can get 7-1 and Better Baldos. Now, the one concern that I have is that Future Swing is at 33-10. Now, he was beaten behind Narina Trogon, Emelenze Yokuruduma last time out, yet he's a lot shorter than them in the market, and you've got a horse like Ponte Pietra who did not run his best race last time out. It was clear. He was slow, he pulled, they didn't go a pace to suit him, saddle slipped, so he had excuses, and he's at 12-1. So I definitely believe that there's a lot of horses in this race that are overpriced. I think 33-10 is possibly a fair price to price them up, but I think Future Swing is possibly a bit shorter than what he should be in respect to his last start. Where I thought the horses that beat him could beat him once again here, because I think Emelenze Yokuruduma, the way he finished off his race last time out was encouraging, and I think that he could be a player along with number 8 for Magia. Ponte Pietra's in with a chance. Overall, I think it's a tough race.
Yeah, it looks like a race where if you minimize your spend for the exotics, you're a winner, especially if you go less than half the field. Well, the entire field have been entered in this year's Hollywoodbets Durban July. And as I mentioned at the top of the show, when we started our preview for race number 1, some of them are borderline, some of them are bubbling under some of them are not guaranteed of getting a run this year. So this is a race that could be a race that could work out for one of these horses, and it's you get your ticket in this year's Hollywoodbets Durban July. I'm going to summarize it like this. Number one, Atticus Finch, I think, is a massive runner considering the draw and the way I've seen him race in Turfentine, and I think he has to go into everything. So one, Atticus Finch gets my vote. Maybe you can just put ticks next to my numbers or crosses, Rael. Of the three from the Justin Snate stable, I'm firmly in the camp of number 3. I think the others are not going to be punished, numbers 5 and 6. So number 3, who's trading at 25 to 1 for this year's Hollywoodbets Durban July. So I've included number 3. It could be, I could be way off, and 5 and 6 could be far superior, but I'm going with 3 of the Snate runners. Oriental Charm, purely on his run in the Derby. I have to include him on what Green and Envy came and did the other day. So 1, 3, and 4. And then number 10, Ponte Prete, I agree with you. And I must just compliment Craig Zaki on the way he's handled it with Dean Canamere. We don't often hear these stories. They, often happen, back home or at the stables, and it doesn't come to the course on the reasoning. But Dean was very clear, and Craig was big enough to admit, what his thoughts were with the horse. So that's excellent information. And Serena has been working the horse back home. So he's always shown the ability, Rael, for winning 300 pounds. So he gets my vote, number 10. So what I've got, 1, 3, 4, 10, 11, Master Redot. At the end of that interview in the previous race, we heard slight concerns. At the end of the interview in this race with Master Redot, one of my better runners on the day. I like that because this horse is very talented when his mind's on racing. So I've included 1, 3, 4, 10 and 11, Rael. There is room to include 2 more horses, which I'll leave to you.
8 and 14.
8 and 14. So you are going number 8 for Magia, number 8 for Magia, and number 14, Imbalenza Yokotatuma. So I was hoping that you put in number 7 because, wow, Mike Miller has done a tremendous job. King's Cup, Sledgehammer. This horse is in a good space, and it's got a very low weight of 52. But I will go with you, Rael. 8 and 14. So these are numbers in numerical order by a process of elimination, just trying to work it out in this year's WSB 1900 Group 2. 1900 meters Group 2 numerical order 1, 3, 4, 8, 10, 11, and 14, which will make it half the field. If I had to pick your brain and say, Rael, give me a roving banker in the race for the boys that enjoy playing quartets and trifectas and that type of bet, what's your roving banker?
I'm going to go with number 8 for Magia. I was encouraged by his last win. I think that he'll see out the 1900 meter trip with just 54 kgs on the back. 12 to 1. I'm going to go each way for Magia. Roving bank in the quartets.
Well, you heard it from Rael. 8 for Magia is his roving banker in race number 7.
My name's Danny Diliberto, founder of Ladles of Love. It was founded back in 2014. Communities we work with are all over the peninsula, and we're working with 138 beneficiaries now. We've grown exponentially. We've been able to do that because of all the kindness that we have experienced from individuals and corporates such as Interbet, who just want to be part of the change.